Well, good morning. It's almost 5. I've been up since 4:15, and honestly, I'm just moving really, really slow this morning. It's really beautiful. There's a clear sky above me. The stars are out. Um, there's a beautiful moon. Just got my bear bag out of the tree. It was still there. Went to the bathroom, getting everything in my tent packed up, and sunrise is supposed to be at 6:27 this morning, so I'm leaving myself a little over an hour to hike the 2.1 miles to the summit of Mount Mitchell. And I'm crossing my fingers that I have a really, really great clear view from the top of the tallest mountain on the East Coast. But it feels really strange to even be talking right now because I went out of my tent and it is just so still out there and quiet and beautiful. And I forgot how fantastic the woods are when you first wake up in the morning before the sun is out and anything has started moving. So I'm always intimidated by night hiking, especially when I'm doing it by myself, but I'm also really excited because I think it's definitely going to be worth the reward. So here's to hoping I don't get eaten by a bear on my way to the summit. All right, well, it's a little after 5:20, so a smidge later than I wanted to get started, but I am in fact getting started. Got a bunch of switchbacks, a bunch of elevation gain this morning. Could actually see my breath when I got out of my tent. It's a little chilly, it's 58 degrees, but that's really good hiking weather, especially to start out in. So far, trail's not too bad, and I've got turbo mode on, ready to go. Absolutely incredible view from these power lines I keep crisscrossing. Okay, so I just entered Mount Mitchell State Park. The sky's starting to get pretty light, so I think I left a little too late to catch all the pre-sunrise colors from the top, but I'm hoping it's still gonna be a great view. I've actually passed, I think, 3 people camped out on my way up, so definitely not the only one up here this morning. Seem to be the only one night hiking though. Caught a lot of cobwebs, and the whole trail is wet and muddy, so I slipped a little bit ago and banged my knee on a rock. So that wasn't too pleasant, but trees are starting to thin out. I've got about half a mile to the top. Almost there. All right, about 500 feet left to the summit. This was worth the night hike. This is absolutely gorgeous. That was 10 out of 10. Worth the sunrise hike, worth the hike up to the summit from the parking area and everything. And I'm standing on top of the highest mountain east of the Mississippi River. And according to the sign, it's 6,684 feet. So you can see we're above the clouds. And it looks like I'm looking down on an ocean where water is just flowing over the ridges. And it's so beautiful. And it's so beautiful in all the directions from the observation platform. Asheville is back that way to the south, and looking towards the north, or actually looking out towards Tennessee and summits that I recognized from having through hike the Appalachian Trail last year. And it is so cool to see this and experience it. And I 10 out of 10 recommend, guys. Sunrise hike Mount Mitchell, or you can drive up from the bottom, so you could also do that, but definitely make it up here for a sunrise or a sunset because it's absolutely gorgeous. So the grave of Reverend Elisha Mitchell, who was credited with discovering this mountain, is actually buried up here, and that's a pretty great final resting place. This spruce fir forest I just entered from the top of Mount Mitchell is so beautiful, and it reminds me so much of walking through the forest in Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine. And it is such a beautiful day, and I can't believe that after basically a week straight of rain and thunderstorms, that I was able to get such an exceptionally beautiful sunrise from the top of Mount Mitchell. I'm just blown away. I'm gonna be riding that high the entire day, but I've got 16 miles to go to reach my destination of Craggy Gardens, and I've got another, I think it's over 6,000 foot peak to summit before the day is out, as well as a number of other ridges. So definitely gonna be a full day, but man, it is starting out so beautiful. So I've been learning a lot of history from the signs at all the trail junctions lately. And in this area, there used to be a place called Camp Alice, and the Camp Alice Trail is named after it. And back in the early 1900s, there was a railroad that would bring customers, like people up here. And then I guess it was later replaced by a toll road, at least that's what the sign says. And there was like a primitive cabin and tent platforms for anyone who wanted to spend the night on the mountain. And I think that's really cool because it meant that people were getting up on the mountain. And I think they probably were able to access the summit of Mount Mitchell from there too. So it definitely would have been an adventure at that time period. All right, I just left Mount Mitchell State Park and I'm back in Pisgah National Forest again. This stone staircase is so cool. So I'm on my way up Blackstock Knob right now. It's a 6,308-foot summit, and this is my first real view. I'm looking back at what I think might be Mount Mitchell, and it's sitting in a cloud. So definitely hit it at the right time this morning to get beautiful views, because I don't think anyone's seeing anything from up there right now. Well, I just dipped some water out of that little puddle. Got some really nice moss water. I'm carrying a little bit extra because for the next 10 miles, there is not a water source marked on Far Out. But with how much rain that we've had lately and how many unmarked water sources I've come across, I highly doubt that's going to be the last one for the day. But just in case, it doesn't hurt to have a little bit extra. Dumped the moss water as soon as I came across this. And as a bonus, I got a little free drip shower while I was filling up my sea knot with this lovely water. I feel like I'm hiking through a fairy tale right now. There's a mist that's kind of settled in the woods, and everything is so green and mossy. It's beautiful. So I just passed a whole bunch of people, like probably about 20 people, who were out hiking and talking history. And I think that's pretty cool. So way to go, guys. Well, after a lot of climbing, here I stand on the tree-done summit of Blackstock Knob. Far Out says it's 6,308 feet, and then the caption says it's 6,320 feet. So either way, I'm above 6,300 feet. Oh, that was a long climb. Get a view on the descent. There are so many switchbacks on the descent off of Blackstock, but that's fantastic because it makes it really fast going and my knees aren't dying. It is so humid out. I have been soaked in sweat, dripping sweat the whole day. It is so rough. Cool, a ladder. Nice view at Glassman Falls overlook. I just got some massive blueberries out of this blueberry patch behind me. I'm so excited. This is really nifty. So this is called a windbreak on Far Out, and it's literally just made of all branches. I don't know how windy it normally gets up here, but that's pretty cool. Graybeard Mountain, it is gray. In the words of my little sister, every time we play Catan, a road! It's just a little overgrown in here. Okay, so I'm walking my last mile of segment 3, and I wanted to share some of my thoughts on the segment with you because it's only the second full segment that I've completed since starting my LASH of the MST, and it's the one that's closest to home, and it has a lot of history on it, both Asheville local and also for Thurs Parkway and just the general area, so that's really, really cool. It was really pretty. I very much enjoyed hiking it. And I definitely think that the segment that I did between yesterday, or the section I did between yesterday and today, which is the easternmost terminus to segment 3, that includes Mount Mitchell and Blackstock Knob, it's definitely the hardest
hiking of the entire segment. And it's not just because I have a cold. It would have been tough on a good day. But I had a blast. This area is so pretty. Segment 3 has been fantastic. All right, I just finished segment 3. I was so excited. That was a hard day. It also just started to sprinkle, so I'm gonna try to finish up this last little bit that's a side trail to the visitor center where my car is parked quickly so I don't get wet. But that was amazing. I am pretty proud of myself. It was like 44 up and like 33 down today, over 18 miles. So it was really tough with the cold and everything, but man, what an incredible day.